ladies.
Morning.
Would you mind clearing away quickly? I have a very important meeting at 8:30.
Oh, it's 20 to 9 now.
Yes, I know. I can't think what's keeping them. They're not usually this late.
Yeah, well, it's symptomatic of the country today, isn't it? I mean, nobody takes any pride in their work
Well,
anymore.
we've knocked off. Come on, Ethel.
Well, I'm glad to see that the older generation sets such a good example by coming in early.
Yeah, well, I like to get out of bed before Mrs Harman wakes. She don't look her best first thing in the morning. Come to think of it, she don't look so hot last thing at night. Oh, I've got the table set up for the conference.
Thank you, Mr Harman.
Yeah, here, you sure you got the right date?
Oh, yes, quite sure.
Well, perhaps they got hung up in a blizzard. It's awful weather out there.
Yes, but you didn't get held up. Really is too bad of them. I shall get very cross in a minute.
I can tell. I can see the angry flush rising up above your collar.
Yes, I shall demand an explanation.
Yeah, go on, you do that. Give it to them good and strong.
I will.
Yeah.
I'm not going to stand here like a lemon while they amble in one by one.
Right. Blimey. The Legion of the Lost.
Now, you were due here at 8:30. It is now 8:45. I would like an explanation.
As to why I have 2 inches of snow on my hat?
We've been stood standing outside in the snow for 20 minutes because some stupid twit didn't tell security we was coming in.
Oh, dear. I'm afraid that was my fault.
Yeah. The angry flush is disappearing below your collar, just like somebody's just pulled your plug out.
Hot coffee for everyone, Mr Harman.
Right, yeah, so...
You know, I can't feel any of my extremities, and it's unusual for me.
Would you mind helping me with my gloves, please?
All right, Mr Granger. Here, come on.
Do you know it's 10 degrees below?
It's not much warmer above.
Now, where is Mrs Slocombe?
No doubt with a meeting as important as this, she's got a couple of tennis rackets strapped on her feet, and she's mushing her huskies along the frozen Thames at this very moment.
She's got any sense, she'll still be in bed having a nice kip.
Here we are. Hot coffee for everybody. On Mr Rumbold's account.
My teeth won't stop chattering.
Well, put them in your pocket.
Come along, Mrs Slocombe.
What are you pointing at, Mrs Slocombe?
Well, I did have an umbrella, but the wind blew it away.
Mrs Slocombe, Mr Rumbold would like to know why you're late.
Well, the central heating broke down. I had to light the oven and hold my pussy in front of it. Poor little thing. Its tail had been hanging out of its basket all night long. It was frozen solid.
Coffee, Mrs Slocombe.
Oh, thank you. Oh, no. I don't think I can face it. I've been feeling a bit queasy these past few mornings.
Queasy? Nothing serious, I hope.
Oh, come along, we must get on. Now, we are here to discuss a suggestion made by young Mr Grace at a senior sales management meeting. Captain Peacock, you were there. Perhaps you would like to summarise the points raised.
I could have done that last night before we all went home.
That's why I thought of that, but I didn't want to delay anybody due to the weather conditions.
Yes, we saw you sneaking out early, hoping no one would notice.
As I recall it, young Mr Grace has been reading a paper about sales psychology, and he's now very keen to take advantage of the herd instinct in our customers.
Well, I haven't had any herds round my counter lately.
The theory is that a customer is more liable to buy something if he sees another customer doing the same thing.
You mean like the 3-card trick? One of the gang starts the bidding to get the other mugs to join in.
Well, that's not quite how it was put.
What if nobody starts, but they just all stand there looking?
One of the assistants who is free pretends to be a customer and says complimentary things about the goods.
Like I said, one of the gang starts the bidding.
The assistant should employ such phrases as, I wish I could afford that, and by Jove, that's good value for money, or I must have one of those before they're all snapped up.
I've sat here and listened to some daft things in my time, but this is the daftest thing I've ever sat here and listened to.
Nevertheless, young Mr Grace is very keen on the idea, so we're going to give it a try.
And that's what we've all had to come in early for.
Yeah, yes, well, we did think it would be as well to dream up some more encouraging phrases, so let's all put our thinking caps on, hmm?
I've left the gas on.
I don't think you've quite grasped the idea, Mr. Granger.
What idea?
Shall I explain it to him again, sir?
No, don't do that. Send him home to turn the gas off.
No, come along. I'm sure we can think of dozens of phrases. Let's go along the line. We'll have one from Miss Brahms.
Why me? Start at that end.
Oh, well, it'll warm up the kitchen, perhaps.
To what does that refer, Mr. Granger?
He's still on about the gas.
Damn, there's none left.
Oh, now, that's very good, Miss Brahms. Damn, there's none left. You see, that gives the assistant a good chance to produce another one of whatever they are. Mrs Slocombe.
Hey, I got one for Mrs Slocombe. Fancy them making one of those in my size.
Are we going to have much more of that, Mr Lucas?
Oh, now, that's very good, Mrs Slocombe. Yes, you see, it gives the idea of urgency in case the stock should run out. Captain Peacock.
How thoughtful of Grace Brothers to leave the doors open so that we, the customers, can actually get in to buy things.
I take your point, Peacock. Mr Humphreys.
By Jove. Fancy Grace Brothers being able to do them at that price. A full range of sizes and all those lovely colours. They're washable and durable. I bet they'll never wear out.
Excellent, excellent. What is it?
I don't know, but if you've got one, I'll have it.
Mr Lucas.
Look at that poor, handsome young assistant. I bet he's fair worn out with getting up early and standing in the frozen snow. I bet he hasn't had a proper breakfast except for a cup of coffee and a miserable paper cup. We must all buy something from him so he can afford a proper lunch. Then he'll have the strength to struggle home, fall exhausted into bed, and get up early in the morning and start the whole process all over again.
I'll see you in my office at 10 o'clock, Mr Lucas.
Anyway, the upshot was that I took Pussy to the vet, and he confirmed it. So since then, I've kept her in a basket by the radiator. Well, you can't be too careful, can you?
Everything happens to you, doesn't it?
That's what Mrs Axelby said.
When is the happy event?
Well, I was so worried that I went to the clinic again yesterday. And they said it could be any day now. The funny thing is, it doesn't show.
That's why she's off her food.
Perhaps it's because it's the first time.
Well, that does make a difference, of course.
It's a pity, though, with what you haven't been so careful and all.
Now that I've got over the first shock, I'm quite looking forward to it.
You say you don't know who the father is?
Well, yes and no. I suspect that it happened on my birthday. You see, I came back from the pub after a few too many, and I didn't shut the door properly. I think he lives with that woman in the next house.
He's ginger, isn't he?
No, it wouldn't be that one. He had the operation 2 years ago. He's Burmese. His name's Wan Ting. He spends all day long crouched in the rhubarb, peering at...
Isn't he at home?
Either there or in the fitting room.
We couldn't help overhearing your conversation, Mrs Slocombe. Are we right to think that congratulations are in order?
Oh, thank you. Well, of course, it wasn't intended, but these things happen in the best of families.
Are you hoping for a boy or a girl?
Half and half.
That happens in the best of families.
I can find good homes for 6. But any more than that will have to be drowned in a bucket.
What was all that about?
I think we must face the fact that we may have got hold of the wrong end of the stick.
I think you're probably right, Captain Peacock. Mind you, she had me worried for a minute.
She had me worried, too. Especially when she mentioned the one that was Ginger having the operation.
I must go home at once. We've got a Burmese next door.
A Burmese cat?
No, a Burmese bus conductor. My wife's very fond of rhubarb.
No, I'm sorry, Mrs Slocombe, but I cannot acquiesce to your request.
But suppose she has them all alone when I'm not there?
Well, can't you employ an au pair girl? Or better still, an au pair girl?
I don't think that's very funny, Mr Rumbold. How would you like to be in a basket, jammed up against a radiator in an empty flat having kittens?
It would be a catastrophe. Oh, I'm on form today.
Am I to take it that you refuse me permission to give my pussy facilities for her confinement?
I'm afraid there's no possibility.
Men.
Well, don't look at me.
Did he give you permission?
Did he, Ellis, like? He just made a lot of bad jokes.
Oh, if he was having them, it would be a different story.
If he was having one, he could reach for the pickle jar alone, as far as I'm concerned.
Free, Mrs Slocombe, Miss Brahms.
At the moment.
Well, as you see, there are one or two customers about, so I think it's a good idea to put Mr Grace's idea into operation. Go and get your coat on, Miss Brahms.
I'm not wearing out my coat in the firm's time. If they want me to pretend to be a customer, they'll have to supply the gear.
Quite right, Miss Brahms.
Oh, very well, then. Go into the stockroom and choose yourself something. Mr Granger, are you free?
Yes, I think I'm free, aren't I, Mr. Humphreys?
As far as I know, Mr. Granger.
Are you free, Mr Humphreys?
I'm free, Captain Peacock. Shall I inquire as to whether Mr. Lucas is free or not?
If you'd be so kind.
Mr. Lucas, this question may come as a complete surprise. Are you free?
As a matter of fact, I am free, Mr. Humphreys.
We're lucky to have caught you.
Yes.
Mr. Lucas is free, Captain Peacock.
Good.
Captain Peacock,
Yes, Mr Granger.
I am not free. I must go and spend a penny.
Can I take over from you, Mr. Granger?
If you're free.
Shall I take over from you, Mr. Humphreys?
Well, that depends on Captain Peacock.
Look, I'm just suggesting that we try out Mr Grace's idea.
Oh, what you mean about one of us pretending to be a customer and conning the mugs?
Mr Lucas, at Grace Brothers, we do not con the mugs.
Well, I'm game for anything.
That's how you got so far, isn't it, Mr. Humphreys?
You noticed.
I leave it to you to decide who shall be the customer.
Oh, well, to be fair, I think we ought to take it in turn.
Yes.
And you don't have to wear your own clothes, you know. Choose something out of the stockroom. The gents' stockroom, Mr Humphreys. Excuse me, lady. Is Miss Brahms ready?
I'll just call her. Miss Brahms!
Miss Brahms, you are supposed to be buying, not selling.
Hey, up, there are some customers.
Oh, where?
Oh, get your glasses off.
If the customers admire anything, show enthusiasm.
Roger.
Just walk about and look normal.
I saw you nick that lot, darling. But if you're nice to me, I'll say nothing about it.
Ew, what are you doing dressed up like that?
Mr. Grace gave me carte blanche to wander round the store and admire the goods. And you're the first.
What do you think, Sandra?
Oh, I don't know. Is that the sort of thing Mark likes?
Well, you can never tell when they're in the civil service.
Do you think the colour is very attractive?
I can't can't make up my mind.
Mrs Slocombe, her ladyship is interested in purchasing a bra and rather likes the look of those you have on display.
Yes, how much is they?
They is $4.95.
Dirt cheap if you ask me. Beats me how they can knock them out for such a low price.
Because our profit margin is very small.
I like them. I think they're dead sexy.
But discreetly so.
Here. Cup over that. Oh, yes. Yes, that'll definitely take his mind off the polo. I'll have 2 pairs.
If you wouldn't mind waiting, this lady was first. A cash or account, madam?
Neither. If that sort of woman likes them, I certainly don't.
Not exactly an unqualified success, your ladyship.
Are you being served, sir?
No.
Oh, well, in that case, you'd like to be.
Yes, I need some gloves, but I can't quite make up my mind.
Ah, well,
Nice.
What's nice, sir?
Whatever he thinks is nice.
I see, sir.
I think it's nicer.
I'll be with you in a moment, sir. Now, gloves, sir. There we are. Now, this is a lovely pair. They're £6.25.
Oh, dead cheap, I'll have them.
I'll have a pair as well, please.
I'm afraid this is the only pair we have.
Well, I was here first.
Yes, but I spoke first.
I'm terribly sorry, sir, but this gentleman was here first. I must let him have them.
Oh, damn. I've been to every shop in the town to try and get a pair of gloves like that, and now I've been pipped at the post.
Oh, let him have them.
No. No, you were here first. You must have them.
No. I insist. At his time of life, he deserves some consideration.
Well, he's not getting any.
I did want those gloves.
Oh, shut up, you silly old fool.
Yeah, if this is the way you treat your customers, I wouldn't dream of buying a pair of gloves here.
I did too well, didn't I? When I get my teeth into a roll, there's no holding me.
Mr. Granger, I suggest you get back behind your counter.
Here. What was the stick for?
Always play for sympathy, my boy.
Where's Mr. Humphreys?
Getting changed.
The face eludes me, but I recognize the walk.
Oh, I'm glad you did that. I was running out of oxygen.
What is the reason for this masquerade?
Well, I just wanted to look like an average man in the street. Oh, say, these are nice. It would go lovely with this, don't you think so, Mr. Lucas?
We haven't got a customer yet, Mr. Humphreys.
Just walk about and look normal.
Extra for character work.
And Mr. Humphreys, so far this experiment has not been a rip-roaring success. So I suggest you stick to one simple theme.
And what would that be?
Try, oh dear, I wish I could afford that. Can I help you, sir?
Yeah, I'm looking for a cashmere sweater, please.
Cashmere sweaters, Mr. Lucas?
Exactly. Would that be pure cashmere, sir, or cashmere and wool?
Pure cashmere, please.
Oh, the customer's looking for a pure cashmere sweater. And what colour, sir?
Beige.
Beige. Ah, there we are, sir. £30. Just feel how soft they are.
Excuse me, I couldn't help overhearing. How much did you say?
Yeah, £30.
Oh, say, aren't things a prize?
Worth every penny, sir.
And just the thing for this weather. I wish I could afford that.
Yes, I'll take it.
Oh,
And how much are those silk squares?
oh, these are £10 each, sir. They're a pure silk, of course.
I wish I could afford that.
I'll take that as well.
Oh, I see.
Oh, and what are those hats?
Ah, now these, sir, these are £16 each. Of course, they are pure velour.
Oh, pure velour. Oh. I wish I could afford that.
I'll take that as well.
Oh, will there be anything further, sir?
No, that'll do nicely.
Oh, That is 1 cashmere sweater, 1 silk scarf, and 1 hat. That is £56, sir.
And the same for my friend here.
I beg your pardon.
What else is money for? I'm rich, I live alone. Perhaps you'd like to come up to my place and have a drink.
Oh, I don't think I could afford
For once in your life, you're not the last one to sign in, Mr. Lucas.
Don't worry, it won't happen again. Who's not here?
Mrs. Slocombe.
And what did you expect? With big ears not letting her bring her moggy in what's about to give birth. She's probably had to stop at home.
We made it quite clear that she would be dismissed if she were absent for such a trivial reason.
Serves her right for meddling about with Burmese bus conductors.
I'll put him right in the coffee break.
Knowing her, she'll probably try and do a Colditz and smuggle it in inside a vaulting horse.
You cannot come in here with that animal.
Did you see that? It's just given birth to a ballpoint.
Oh, it's a boy, then.
Now that we've concluded the practical jokes, go to your counter, Mrs. Slocombe.
You really had him there with that, didn't you?
Oh, well, I didn't just do it for that. Only my pussy can't bear to be separated from him. They sleep together, you know. And at a time like this, she deserves every comfort.
Well, why have you brought him here?
Because I've smuggled the expectant mother into the goods entrance. Mr. Harman's bringing her up. Have you got it?
Yes.
Well, where is it? Never in there.
Oh, don't worry, there's no tea in there, look. I'll soon get rid of it. Ow, ow, ow.
Are you mad? Frightening her at a time like this?
Well, I mean, it's either that or turn the tap off and make it into a Manx.
Oh, that fit in well.
Where are you going with that, Mr. Harman?
To the goods lift. I'm taking it to the boys in the basement.
I'll have a quick cup of tea before you go.
It's coffee.
In that case, I'll have a quick cup of coffee.
It ain't very nice coffee.
It never is. There's no clock up there.
Yeah, well, they're 2 metres high for that spec. Oh, yeah, well, it's bunged up with sentiment. I'll take it out and get it right through.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Mr. Gray.
Well, I hear that my idea was not a great success.
Oh, nonsense, sir. No, the idea was excellent. It just wasn't executed very well.
Good Lord, it's not closing time already, is it?
No, sir, that's opening time.
Oh, good. I just thought I'd come down and give you all a few tips on salesmanship.
Oh, it will be an honour, sir.
Yes, I'm all right.
Places, gentlemen, places.
I used to serve, you know. Fish, mostly.
Must be difficult taking their inside leg, Mr. Grace.
He's an idiot, isn't he?
Well, it's all you can get these days, sir.
Yes, well, now, I want you all to just pretend that I'm just one of you.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Grace.
Where are the customers, then?
Sometimes one has to wait, sir.
Oh, dear, oh, very boring. Am I allowed to smoke?
If you're one of us, no.
Yeah, I don't think much of this job.
Here, I've bedded her down in a hat box. I think she started.
Oh, no.
Slocombe, don't leave the floor. Mr. Grace is with us.
But it's very important.
Mr. Grace is waiting for the first arrival.
So am I. Here, take Hector to her. She needs him at a time like this.
Blimey, was he the father?
Good morning, sir. Good morning, madam.
Good morning.
Can I help you?
Yes, trousers.
Yes, certainly. This way. I'll get our senior assistant to attend to you, sir. Mr. Grace, are you free?
I'm free. Good morning, sir.
The customer would like some trousers.
Ah, yes. Good morning, sir. What size?
34.
Yes. What about the inside leg?
Oh, I've no idea, I'm afraid.
Use my tape, Mr. Grace.
That's quite all right. I've got one of my own, thank you, Mr. Humphreys.
You could do a lot with one of those, couldn't you, Mr. Rumbold?
Matter of fact, I did all my early training with one just like that. Mine had a bit more spring in it.
I say, should he be working at his age?
Well, I shall work until I drop.
He's dropped.
I could still do it, you see.
Yeah, bully for you, Mr. Grace.
Excuse me, sir. I should come over here if I were you. We'll never make it as far as
Oh, good Lord, they're not for me. They're for my au pair, Helga.
Nurse!
So far, she's got 2 boys and a girl.
Oh, the clever little thing.
I'm not so sure about that. They look half Chinese to me. And I'll tell you something else. There's a lot more to come.
Nurse! Oh, nurse, have you got any anaesthetic?
I don't need an anaesthetic. I need a pet pill.
It isn't for you. It's for my...
Mrs. Slocombe, am I to understand that you have deliberately disobeyed instructions and brought that animal into Grace Brothers?
No, Captain Peacock.
And what is in your fitting room?
My pyjama case?
I see. Miracles will never cease, Mrs. Slocombe. Your pyjama case has just given birth to 6 kittens. I must say they're absolutely enchanting.